Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today. Another video. Now generally on my channel, I'm making videos for other people, other companies who have sent me gear, want reviews, taking a look at it, but today, finally a video for me. Now my question is, what is your daily carry knife? For me, it absolutely varies, specifically because of my need to review. But I've been thinking to myself, I'm like, I just want that one knife that I go back to time and time again. So when I'm not working on reviews, I have kind of my hard use folder, the one that's in my pocket and the one that I just love. And well, here, the X1 Microflip from Hogue Knives. This is the SIG Legion version, and specifically to match my recently acquired SIG Legion P226. Now, these aren't exactly a match, but I loved the 226 and said, well, let's get one of these SIG branded Hogue knives in my hands, and again, the X1 Microflip, which I think is going to be pretty sweet. And so as we get into this here, the SIG X1 manual folder, 2.75 inch blade, CPM 154. This is the drop point version. There are multiple versions of the X1 Microflip out there. And speaking of SIG branded Hogue knives, here are the EXF03, which I have actually covered in a prior video. There is something about the firearms branded knives that I just love. And Hogue always doing a fantastic job. Now they've also collaborated with H&K in the past, obviously with SIG, and I actually have another SIG branded model that we'll take a look at here in a little bit. But first off, this is tiny. This is definitely much smaller than I would have expected. And when they say Microflip, well, this proves it. Look how tiny this is. Having that Legion badging right there, which is really pretty awesome. I love that. And just really cool. Now, I think it's a little bit funny where this unzips this way. I probably, if I was designing this, would have put the branding this direction, but it is technically this way, which is interesting. But as we open this up here, again, the Hogue SIG X1 Microflip. This is a beautiful little knife. Really cool. Check it out. Has that nice medallion there. And actually, it appears to be literally the exact same size as on the handgun, which is cool. And it has the same sort of checkering inside here, real grippy. So that's awesome. I mean, this is definitely going to get me what I was hoping for, a daily carry and something that just screams that SIG quality, and I love that. Taking a look here, you can see this does have a Cerakoted blade, and it's pretty darn close to the color of the 226 here. They got that pretty darn close, so that's awesome. And again, 154 cm steel, which I love. And I take that back. It's CPM 154. So very similar to 154 cm, but CPM being the powdered steel. So a crucible powdered metallurgy, powdered steel. This is very, very light in the hand. Has a lock, so you can definitely lock that blade, and it will not allow it to deploy or to close. And you can see there, pressing that button lock, it will not close. So undoing the lock, button lock design, and folding up. So that's really nice. You can see just a beautiful back spacer. I love that. Nice little design detail there, which is great. Reversible pocket clip. So depending for your right hand or left hand carry, that will definitely work. And I do really love the fact that this is tip up carry, which is my preference for sure. And I am right-handed, so this is set up the way I would like it. You can see it's not exactly deep ride, but definitely having a nice pocket clip. We'll see how that feels once it gets in my pocket, in a very tight design. That's really sweet. Drop point design, pretty straightforward. Now, for me, personally, I definitely like a Tonto as an EDC, but this is so steep of a drop point and really kind of like a spear point design that I think I'll kind of get the best of both worlds here. So a good functional blade shape for EDC, absolutely. And so you can see right out of the box, this did have a ton of blade oil. So kind of cleaning it up at this point. As you take a look at the secondary bevel, nicely polished. So nice cutting edge. It's not completely even all the way from the back through the belly, but it's close, and I'd say definitely suitable. Hogue always doing a nice job with their edges. I can't say for sure whether or not this is convexed, but it does feel that it is a convexed edge, so it's not like a complete V-grind. So even though it does have that secondary bevel, I believe it is a polished convex edge. And we've seen that in the past with other models, like the EXF01 fixed blade, and these have just an awesome secondary bevel, fully convex. You can see nice and polished, even though this has been loved and used. And you can also see a fairly similar blade shape overall, not exactly the same, but fairly similar in terms of the general characteristics and some of the other features. I love the fact that the Microflip having that 2/3 height saber grind into the unsharpened swedge. That's literally perfect for this knife. So you can see nice unsharpened swedge there going down into that refined tip. This is going to be fantastic for packaging, zip ties, general EDC tasks, or even a level of get off me self-defense. Not the longest blade, but it doesn't need to be. You could certainly roll this around in your hand nicely and get yourself a good quality lockup in a reverse grip if you needed to. I am not the most I guess tactically minded, especially when it comes to knives. I do not want to get into a knife fight. I will try to avoid that at all costs. So for me, this is really going to be an EDC option. But you can see gorgeous G10 on these scales, beautiful liners on the inside. They are fully nested. So as you take a look, very, very slim inside. You can see all the way to that back spacer with the actual cutouts there. Really nice. And when it comes down to the liners, it will be difficult to see, but they are very short. They do not extend the entire length of the handle, which leaves this very light, very, very light and manageable. Which, as we get this onto the scale, a very slim 2.6 ounces. So that's fantastic. I mean, this is not going to weigh down your pocket at all. And for me, not only is this a beautiful looking knife, I mean, this is a showy knife, but man, being light and slim and nimble like this in an awesome steel like CPM 154, this knife is gorgeous. I am pumped. This thing is awesome. And a while back, I thought it would be pretty cool to carry the K320. So again, speaking about a SIG branded knife, again here, the K320, you can see this pouch is definitely larger. The SIG branding, so in this case, it is not the Legion. And the K320, I mean, this thing is a beefy blade. Now, totally stout and capable, but at the same time, just a much larger knife. I like a large knife. I'm not afraid of a large knife for EDC purposes at all. But this, to me, I just never carried it, I guess, for a couple reasons. This is an S30V, so CPM S30V. Beautiful clip. You know, you can see here just a little flag, some, details, more of a deep ride with those flat screws. But just to show you that side by side, I mean, man, what a difference in size. So for me, the X1 Microflip definitely made a lot of sense for a number of reasons, but it all started with my love for SIG and my love for the Legion. So giving this a go in the pocket, these pockets are definitely a little bit thicker than on other pants just because they are reinforced, but that's specifically to protect against the clip, which here you can see that's going to spread the clip, having just that little bit of a ramp right there and pressing down, no problem. Now that G10 is definitely going to have a little bit of grip there, and you can feel it as you press it into your pocket. It is going to be a little bit rough on the inside of your pocket, but there you go. So that's going to be just fine. Easy to get the knife out, easy to put it back into place. Very low profile, slim. That's just nice. So pretty sweet, all things considered. I have to say, this is going to be awesome. Almost need 2 hands to close it, just because right now it's fairly stiff, but again, that's going to work out just nice. That's a cool little blade. Looking at this in just a little more detail, coming off of the backspacer, you do enter into some jimping. So the jimping not only machined into the G10, but then extending into the blade. So if you get your thumb on there, a nice wide area for jimping. If you like it, that's going to be great. If not, well, there's a lot of jimping on the back of this spine. I like it. I think it's about as perfect as you could ask for. It's not overly aggressive, but at the same time, it will definitely aid in the overall purchase on the blade. Now, as we get into the action here, excellent action, snappy, real simple. That push button, I mean, this is a light blade, so it's not going to be really that fidgety. You're not going to be able to flip it open and flip it shut. It'll probably break in over time, but generally speaking, it is just a little bit stiff. Looking at it on the inside, I believe what I'm seeing here is a brass washer on one side, and then it's probably sitting against the liner on the other side, if I'm seeing that correctly. So phosphor bronze washer on one side, certainly not ball bearings, and I prefer that from a knife that I want to use in hard use. As we deploy the knife, you can fail it if you're not careful, but if you have good purchase and just flick that, no problem. So good quality geometry on the flipping action, no worries. So that's great. In terms of blade play, pretty stout, maybe the slightest bit side to side, vertically, no. And of course, once you depress the push button, at that point, it could certainly lead to a little bit of play. But push button designs usually do have just a little bit of play in them anyway. But this is really good, all things considered. So generally speaking, in terms of the action, very nice. And so again, a very simple video for me. Just getting this knife, getting it into my hands, busting it out of the package, and now going to put this to good use. You can see, it's going to be a little bit smaller. It's going to be a little bit compact, but you can definitely get up on it. You can leverage the guard almost as a choil for those more detailed tasks, but this is going to be perfect where just leaving it in my pocket, loving it every day, and really when I'm in between my other reviews, having something I can go back to and back to and back to. And especially since I have found my love for the Legion, this is just going to be something that I'm proud to carry every day. It fits my style, it fits my needs, and it's just a beautiful knife from Hogue and co-branded by SIG. So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for following along. If you like this content, do me a favor, check out my Outer Limitless channel where I cover way more knife designs, way more knife reviews. So if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless 2, do me a favor, check me out on my primary Outer Limitless channel. And so, all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.